welcome to Transition Talk with Kate and Melina, me being Melina. I had this crazy t- TikTok that went out, or at least I thought it was crazy to me, but it was like 300 comments, and some of them were so hilarious that I thought we should like share them and actually talk about them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I love like breaking down other people's stories.
I know. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to like go straight up into the comment section. This is the first one I thought was hilarious. Let me open it up. So she says, my mom laughs and says, "You kids can go take care of that when I'm gone." Hate to break it to her, but that's not going to look the way she thinks it will.
It's a dumpster. It's a dumpster.
Yeah.
That's what like they don't realize. I'm like, it's a big old 40-yard dumpster in the driveway.
It is.
I did actually my Independence Day. It's so funny. My dad, like, after we moved him out of his house, I mean, my sister and I were, like, so overwhelmed because we already had to deal with this with my mom. But, like, then when my dad moved out of his house, like, we got a storage unit. We moved a bunch of stuff in the storage unit. As we're rehabbing the house, I'm like, I got more stuff to move out, right? So we ended up getting these U-Haul pods, and my sister arranged them. Well, U-Haul delivered them to the 2 stalls of my driveway. So, like, I've had no driveway space.
How
I've been
long's this
parking
been?
2 years.
Oh, God.
It's, like, embarrassing how long it's been. And these things, like, cost money, too. It's so silly.
I
And,
mean,
like,
we know you don't have anything else to do.
the stuff that we've been, like, storing is just ridiculous. So, finally, like, my sister was like, we're done. We're not going to have the... I'm like, thank God, because I am so over these things, right? Like, they just, like, hog my driveway. It's just, like, a reminder every single time I pull in that, like, my shit's not together, you know? And so finally, like, my sister arranged to have them picked up. Well, they got picked up on 4th of July. So we were scrambling, like, for the 3 days prior to 4th of July, moving everything out of it.
Happy 250th. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a celebration.
I know. Yeah, I know. It was cute. Like, all the neighbor kids came over. They're like, this is stuff from the 90s. Like, my kids found, like, my Beanie Baby collection,
Oh, yeah.
which they're, like, immediately looking up, like, the value of everything on it. Yeah. So, so that was my big, like, Independence Day of, like, losing the U-Hauls finally. Like, I finally just, like... To be clear, there's still a pop-up with a bunch of stuff underneath it right now, but, like, I at least have, like, 1 stall in my driveway.
I mean, that is success. Congratulations.
So that's what happens to your stuff when you're like, I don't care, my kids will deal with it. It goes in the trash.
Yeah.
You don't make any money off of it. Nobody wins. It just goes in the trash.
I think there's another comment. Like, yes, it does go in the trash, but there's another comment. I actually think I've been going back and forth and looking at this one, and I'm like, ooh, this is like a microeconomic, macroeconomic problem, but I think it's a good one.
Yeah.
A generation who lived through one of the best economic booms, they bought junk with it. Never-ending collector items, could have put all that money into savings, but no, that coin collection definitely had more value. So what your kid is saying is they're going to throw all your shit away and go sell your gold and silver at the soonest, quickest rare coin collector that they can find.
Oh,
for cash.
I mean, like, the last, like, big clean out that I did, I mean, the amount of plates that she had were, like, I mean, I think you've gone through so many houses, right, that you've purchased for flips, right, and you're looking through it, it's like, girlfriend, you had a QVC problem. Like, girl was on Home Shopping Network, like, 2 a.m. in the morning, ordering up plates and
Stuff
all the
still in the
different,
packages.
spoons, all the stuff, right?
And they're flaking because they thought they were real gold. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm like,
yeah.
let's see.
Yeah. So, and then you got like, oh, you run into and you're like, oh, you got a little TJ Maxx Marshalls problem, which we all do a little bit, right?
Yes.
I got a little bit of TJ Maxx Marshalls problem.
No judgment.
But, yeah.
I got a home goods issue like nobody's business. I
Yeah.
mean, and I will be honest, like every once in a while I'll get super excited in a home that like somebody will find value in it. I'm the person that finds value in it. Like, I'm the one who's like, oh, I'll keep that 1901 clock. I literally, true story, have probably 10 homes worth of my sweetest senior clients, and I tell them, I'm like, I'm going to put you on the shelf with the rest of my... My daughter's like, okay, you cannot bring another person home, or like, I'm not really bringing the person home, but there is something behind from this client that I have collected.
Well, I am awkwardly bringing the person. We had the conversation about all the urns in front of my house right now.
I mean, I was leading into that and hoping that you would very much have a conversation about how many people you've collected.
I think I have like 6 people right now that need to be not disposed of, like set free. Like, I don't want to call it like set free. And that's the thing is like, it's hard because like, we don't know they're there until you find them. And then it's like my junk removers were like, what do you don't want us to do with these? And I'm like, don't put them in the dumpster. Like, that's going to send me straight to hell. So like, let's just like set them aside. Right. And then I realized I'm like, are they putting a hex on my house or something? Like, so then I finally was like, cause my house was not selling. My flip was not selling. And so I finally went and removed them. This is like probably about 3 weeks ago, which by the way, we were under contract as of today. So maybe I was right. But I went and removed them, but I was like, I don't want to put them in my own house. So then I just put them out in front of my house. And now they're like sitting in front of my garage.
They're watching you.
Well, they're definitely watching like all the Amazon people that show up and deliver stuff, and like probably are like, what the hell? Why is there an urn in front of her?
You are.
We should probably find a better place for them. But yeah,
I mean, I think we were talking a really good girlfriend of ours. We were like, we need to have like an actual like blessing, like a ceremony.
Oh yeah,
and, like,
she's got the woo woo for it. Yeah,
I feel like we like do a disbursement in the ocean and it like carries their body all over.
Yeah,
and then it would be really fun and pleasing. But like that's
if your parents are like packing around like great uncle Leroy and they're like I think that this is actually fairly common, is that you get the remains of somebody and you're like, well, I don't really know what to. Oh, we're gonna take him here, and then like they never like do it, and it never happens, and they sit in a closet, and time marches on, and then, they move, or they can't care for themselves anymore, right? And so you're cleaning out their house, and you're like, all right, well, Uncle Leroy's coming with me, I guess, right? So now he's just sitting in front of. The funny thing is like this gets a little dark, but I was like, it's hot out, like, but I'm like, they've never been. They were really hot at one point. They'll never be more hot than they were that time.
It does. I mean, the good news is that I think we're going to, like, collect these people, and we're going to put them in a place that makes them feel nice and cool. We're going to cool them off in the Pacific Ocean. And, like,
somewhere,
and then they're going to, like, trail on and live their best reincarnated life. I don't know. Or whatever you believe. But I think that's probably the next space.
It's part of all the treasures that you find in somebody's house that has been left behind. Because that is our experience, right? Is like as adult children going into your own parents' house, it's super emotional to dig through all of their stuff, right? That it's like you recognize like how hard they worked, or like how much they treasured something, or like antiques is like the biggest one that like just antiques. I hate antiques more than anything else. Like,
God, I love them.
Oh my goodness,
I
hate them.
But there's so much. There's only so many places.
They're heavy as shit. They're not worth anything. Like, everybody has like some ridiculous value on it. There's like a massive sentiment in on it, but like there's no value either. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately, it's like, I hate to say this, but like they are, unless you like them personally or can sell them, I guess, right? Like they are dumpster items. Mm-hmm. And it's sad because like I think that's why I hate them so much, because like at some point somebody put like so much care, effort, money, time, love into them, and now it's just like they have like absolutely no place in our like decorative world anymore, right? Like people don't value a hutch like they used to.
They don't. I mean, let's talk about the solutions for that, right? Like, yes, somebody is likely to come to us and say, well, we'd like to have an estate sale before we're going to sell the... Yeah, that's a great idea, except you're going to give half of the money away, and it's also going to be a senior who is going to be doing this estate sale, by the way, because they're the only ones who see value left in the estate sale. They're not going to make as much money as they thought. They're going to put more energy and effort into it. And also, you are still going to be left with a whole house full of items that are still left over that you have to then throw in the dumpster. Yeah. And I love it when people are like, oh, well, you can just give it away. I hate to tell you, but the Goodwills are full. The thrift stores are full. They're
Did
not
you know?
taking items.
So like the statistics on when you donate things, and this is where I've like had to like finally like have my own little come to Jesus with myself, is that like when you donate things, 70% of it goes to the landfill anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just like drop all this stuff at Goodwill or like Value Village or whatever. But like ultimately, I'm like, you know what? It's just like cheaper to throw it on the dump trailer and haul it to the dump because like that's generally actually where it's probably going to end up anyways. 70% of the stuff that you donate goes to the landfills.
It's wild.
You're not like helping the earth, just to be clear.
I think you're helping yourself feel better.
Feel better.
I mean,
yes.
that's the
yeah,
reality.
right?
You're
Yeah.
helping yourself feel better. I mean, like the only time, like I have a kid who really cares about like, you know, thrifting clothes. She loves to thrift clothes, right? And I'm like, I do not find value or I think it's kosher at all to wear other people's clothes. I'm sorry. I'm going to get hate for that. I don't care. I think it's gross. I don't want to do it, right?
Yeah.
And also, I just learned, I saw this post and it was like talking about how bad for the environment when there's like shredding all the chemicals and all the things that are in the clothes in order to reuse the product is like so bad. And all of these people are getting really sick. There's like cancer things that are happening. So it's like, okay, so it can go into a landfill and get burned, or you can try to salvage it and it's still going to be an issue later. Like so I guess the moral of the story is what we're finding is that, you know, whether your parents like it or not, they're going to roll up a dumpster. So it's either happening now and on their own terms, or it's going to happen later and you're literally going to throw everything out.
I know.
I mean, because all it does, and for those of you who are like, oh, well, I do want to save a few things is I'm going to keep a picture. I'm going to keep maybe a photo album. I'm going to keep a piece of furniture.
I think it's got to be the top 10% of what you have, which comes to like we were talking about Swedish death cleaning, which totally sounds like a metal band to me.
It does.
Like it's like
so
Swedish
smart.
death cleaning.
It's such a good like philosophy though to have.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, if you're curious about Swedish death cleaning, we actually do have a PDF document. You can comment death below and we will actually send it out to you.
Death.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But Kate, can you go through like a few of the items that are on what you would consider Swedish death cleaning?
I think, well, honestly, like my ex-in-laws, right? Like that grandma was very on top of it. And I think that she was like dealing with Alzheimer's, the very beginning stages of it, but she had certain items that were very important for her, for certain kids to have. And so those cannot go into a dumpster once you put a piece of masking tape on the bottom with a kid's name on it, right? Like those go on to live, right? So there's a little something to be said for that it's like, there's some awkward candlesticks. They actually, I think they finally left my house in the divorce, but like they were special to grandma. They were not, I didn't have a thing for them and I don't think he did either, but he will never let those go.
Next romantic dinner with some
He will never let those ones go. Yeah, no, I think when you get into like the Swedish death cleaning, it is the things that it's like, and this is kind of like we've talked about like this, having a legacy story, right? And sitting down with somebody as they move out of their house or as they make the big transition and offering the opportunity for them to share their legacy story. And I think some part of this is it too, right? That it's like going over like, well, this item was actually really special to me because it was given to me, for my first wedding anniversary. Those kinds of things that it's like, there's a story behind it. So it's like on top of the Swedish death cleaning, give a little context behind why the candlesticks are important, right? Like why this is important. It's, for me, I think about my own hoarding and the things that I need to move out. And I have like a weird t-shirt collection of
me too.
Every single t-shirt that I had from like every single sport.
Oh, sport. Mine is band.
Yeah.
Nerd. Yeah. Like every.
Oh, it's a band T-shirt, or it's from your band?
No, it's
marching band.
It's every band that I've ever seen.
Oh, well, that's a lot cooler. I thought it was like your marching band or something.
I wasn't cool enough to be in marching band. I was not that kid. I was the troublemaker.
Yeah.
I was smoking in the parking lot at the
Oh, okay. You were at the,
Piggly
you were,
Wiggly.
yeah.
yeah. I was getting over at the. Piggly
You're much
Wiggly.
cooler. You were at the, yeah. So mine were like the sports t-shirts. You've got like cool band t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have like a t-shirt collection that I would hold on to. Like, honestly, I've actually even like thought about letting my kids wear them right now because they're like of the age of like, well, they could actually like wear these and enjoy them. Like, I don't care about them that. Someday maybe a quilt will come out of it. I don't know. But
I
like,
keep saying that with all of my daughter's sports stuff, and we were recently cleaning out our storage, and like no Swedish death cleaning. I'm just like sick and tired of like paying rental fees because that also is very common. Is people
Yeah.
are like, oh, we're just gonna put it in a storage
Oh,
unit,
yeah.
and they'll have like 4 storage units. They're paying like $1,500 a month on,
Yeah.
which, by the way, it's almost a rental amount
Yeah.
or a portion of their care, right? It's all in storage units, but I started cleaning out our storage units, and I know this sounds like harsh, but I was like, my daughter's 26 years old, and I was like, hey, do you want your cheerleading outfits from the 7th grade? Like, I mean, you want me to frame them? Like, how, I don't know where to put them anymore. And I know this, like, sounds so horribly cold, but I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Let's toss it. Like, we're done. And
Yeah.
all her tournament ball shirts that I thought I was going to make a quilt out of,
Yeah.
including the cheerleading outfit, I'm like, okay, I don't know how to quilt. Also, I've realized that it's very hard for me to figure out who quilts. Like, I just don't have time to do it. So the reality of like actually getting to that step, and
Yeah.
and isn't that half the problem? Is like we all think that we're gonna get to do something, and we're gonna get to it. By the time we get to it, like I'm halfway out the door. My foot is in the
Oh,
grave.
it's the best of intentions and yet like the worst, like,
Right.
like putting it into action.
So we
for
have
sure.
like all this stuff, and like,
Yeah.
what do we do with it? I also think, like, as a society, we are,
Hoarders.
yeah, absolutely.
Terrible
It's why,
hoarders.
like, half of my staging furniture, hell, actually, if you go into my house, almost 90% of it is like used furniture. All looks really good, by the way, but it is
I've
like,
been in your house, yeah.
yeah, it's like I'm not buying brand new furniture anymore.
yeah.
I am not doing that. I
Yeah.
will restuff.
No, I have a beautiful like brown Italian leather sectional that I got for $200 off of marketplaces, like barely used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like,
I'm gonna will that. I'm gonna will that to my kids.
right?
Like all
They're
of their
gonna-
cookie.
that's
They
so
can have
much
all their
value.
cookie crumbs in it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. No, I think the Swedish death cleaning thing though is like it, and the explanation of Swedish death cleaning really is like that you come in with the intention of like I'm going to clean the stuff out of my house that I don't want anymore, so that way like I'm very minimal by the time I'm no longer on this earth, and the stuff that's left behind are the things that are important that I want to share with my family, and I'm going to be intentional about like who they go to and why and all of that. And so I think like having that thing in your mind, right? So your kid they don't need a rice cooker from like that you haven't opened from Christmas 5 years ago. They don't need the white elephant gift that you never liked. They don't need a fax machine. They
A copier.
they don't need any of that. No, they don't need. There's a lot of things they don't need. It's funny, there is some stuff, and it's like if you think about like baking pans, and it's like, oh, this is a special, like, I used to bake this. It's like a special sheet cake pan or something like that. Like what's the bundt cake pans? I'd take one of those, like if it was special, right? But like I don't need an electric mixer. Right? Like that's the thing is like your parents are just like, well, I just want to like give them everything, and it's like I already have it.
Right.
Because I have the new improved version of it.
What do you think? In your opinion? Like, give me like top three items that you feel are actually worth something that you would give to your kids to leave behind, and everything else gone.
I would say,
Think big. I'm thinking big.
I was gonna go art
Love that.
and / like framed photos. Like that's kind of one that I've noticed that like when I'm working with families that are having to do like the clean out of their parents' house, like they're cherishing like the framed photos, and like who knows if they'll keep them in that state or whatever, but like those are important, right? Because if you think about it, like photos
Okay, good.
you don't get them anymore, right? So it's like now we live in the digital era where it's like, yeah, you could just have them reprinted, but like back then you can't have those. Once it's taken and it's printed, it doesn't really exist unless it exists there. So I would say photos would be the number one thing to like do your best at preserving. I don't know. The other one would be, I don't know. For me, I have like a couple of quilts that I cherish. That's like a great great grandma quilt, which honestly I never even met her, but like it's an easy save, right? It's folded up and put in a closet, and it's like a family heirloom that I can pass down, but it doesn't take up a ton of space. Three things, so
I'm gonna go the way more monetary
guns.
route. Yeah, guns. Because
Yeah.
guns hold memory and
Yeah.
so like for me, top items are jewelry. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah, jewelry.
jewelry is
You come from a richer family than I do.
I mean, no, we weren't, but what they did buy was ridiculously irresponsible good jewelry. So like the first thing I do, also, my dad was notorious for hiding cash.
Okay.
Okay, like you better look through behind all the electrical outlets, like fake mayonnaise jars, like behind freezers, like the cash, and also behind pictures. Again, because as soon as you pull the pictures off the wall, I found $100 bill. Like my dad was notorious for rolling that up. And then so I've got jewelry, look for cash, gold and silver. I probably have more, but gold and silver also on the top list of things that like your kids actually want. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
The title should be what your kids actually want, right? And then the last item is if you can preserve your home, right? In order to gift that to your kids or figure out a way to make that happen. And we do have ideas around that. Those are the top things that you can give, because the one thing that we do not have enough of right now in an inflated market is cash and also or money in general, and homes. I mean, homes is the top one, right?
Yeah.
It's harder for our kids to now go and buy homes at this point in time. It's so expensive. So it's generational hand down that we're finding is the most impactful.
Well, and I think that comes down to like the other consideration in that too is like instead of buying more knickknacks, put some money into like preserving your home too. Like if you cannot get up on the roof and clean your roof, like hire a company to do it. Like hire a company to come out and do routine maintenance on it. There's so many times that we just see like it's like the roof's good but it hasn't been taken care of, right? Or like, you know, you've got the fascia that like the gutters haven't been cleaned in forever. They got weeds growing out of them, and now you've got water that's backing up into it, and so that's causing rot.
So crazy
You know,
because to me,
decks that like have standing water on them that like, you know, just the stuff
glad
like
you
that.
said that. Gutters is a $200 clean out, and it is the number one cause for foundation issues and wood rot
Yeah.
and structural, like foundational issues.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, you know, I know that all parents have the intention, at least most parents that I've talked to have the intention of leaving their real estate behind to their kids. Like, that's the number one thing I hear. And I'm like, but then by the time the kids are getting it, it's so dilapidated, it's basically a teardown.
Yeah.
And that right there, so so it's the stress of now having to empty all of your stuff and then have to go and mow down or have a builder to give you a third of the value of what the actual house costs to mow
Yeah.
down the property. It's a really sad thing.
Yeah.
And so to your point, I find like if you're in a situation where, or you're the kid of a parent in this situation where you can start doing the Swedish, sell some things now,
Yeah.
right? If you need the money in order to start doing some of these repairs, like it's time to start paring down.
Yeah.
And maybe you are selling some of that jewelry. Maybe keep the wedding ring that
Yeah.
grandma gave you, and then you sell all
Yeah.
the other things. But like these are the ways that you continue to care for the home in which you can gift on. And also maybe your kids aren't that lucky to gift it, but at least then when you're selling a property, you're getting top value for the property instead of a third of the value, because this is likely to be how you're living the rest of your life is
Right.
from the money.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah. No, many people like the equity in their home is how they're going to pay for their care.
mhm.
So I mean, the more you can preserve that equity, right, of maintaining your home, is gonna preserve, like, it's gonna preserve your ability to like pay for your own care.
Yeah.
Like that's money well spent. And I know that, like, you're like, I can do it. Everybody, like, that grew up, from depression era parents, basically, like, our parents aren't depression era, but their parents were, right? They're like, roll up your sleeves and get on the ladder and do it yourself. Well, it's like, I mean, if you're 72 years old and you're not steady on your feet, you should not be on a ladder, because then one catastrophic injury now actually puts you in care, right?
Right.
So don't let the home maintenance put you in the care also. It's
Yeah.
the other part, right? It's okay to hire people. Like, there are very, like, I have friends that they have a company that they just like have a regular maintenance plan. They come out, like, I think it's like 3 times a year or something like that. They do soft wash, they like take care of the exterior of the house, clean up, just all the stuff that like needs to be taken care of on a house to keep it up to standard so that it's not rotting away. You can get put on a maintenance plan for it, and like, you don't even like have to schedule it. They just come on out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, it costs more than $25 to have a handyman come out and take care of things.
Yes.
I need to preface that, like, times have changed, labor rates have changed. You should be
Oh,
aware
yeah.
of all these pieces. Okay, I'm gonna go to a like, this is just funny. There's not a You mean my handyman special from 1972 that hasn't been upgraded in 15 years isn't worth $1 million today? Oh, come on. So a little bit of humor in that, but also for real, that's literally what people think. Like,
Yeah.
literally what people think. All right, I want to go to, let's see. Okay. My mom doesn't have a mortgage, hasn't paid a mortgage for 10 years. She thinks she's going to sell high and get a $50,000 house because that's what her house was when she bought it. I mean, I'm assuming that this is kind of satire in the thing, but what I am finding is that people are they think they're going to sell their house really high, and then the next step is, when we were just talking about this, moving to a single level manufactured home on leased land.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the good idea,
Right.
right? Because let's be honest, you can buy a nice double wide for like $200,000.
Yep.
But the issue is that you're paying $1,500 to $1,700 a month in park rent.
Right.
So, like,
You're just renting.
you're renting, there's zero value in it, and literally you just put yourself in the same position, because if you've got a paid off house, what are you paying? Property taxes and all the
Well, but now,
other-
like, I mean, even like a park model, like a mobile home in a park is like probably even way more depreciating than a mobile home that would be on
Land.
owned land, right? Like,
Yeah.
mobile homes depreciate. Like, that is
Right.
that's not an appreciating asset, right? So it's like you could put a 2020
Mm-hmm.
mobile home on a lot, right? Yeah, the property's going to go up, but only because the property went up, not because like the value of the actual home went up. So, I mean, when you get into the space of mobile homes, the older they get, the less likely they're able to be financed, all of those things, right? And so, like, especially when you get into the parks, right? You get into the ones that, like, and we toured, how many did you tour with my clients the other day?
I think we toured like 5. 4
Yeah,
or 5.
we toured about 5 in another park, and like it was the
was a
difference between
range.
it was a huge
Oof.
range between all of them. Yeah,
There was
and
a
actually the one that out of all of them, the one that I actually was like, I go, honestly, this one's listed at $80,000. This is not a terrible purchase, because like it was original everything, right? But I'm like, you could cosmetically upgrade this for like probably like $20,000, be into this home for like $100, and like be doing okay. I mean, like, you needed, like, it had a wall oven that was like absolutely original
But
to the original.
How much was the park rent though?
I think the park rent on that one was like $1,600. And the other part of this too is, like, I look at the park that we were at, and I'm like, this is on the light rail. Like, this is on where they're planning to bring the light rail in. That mobile home park could get scraped down any day. There's one that's out by Arlington Airport, right? It's owned by Jody Allen. So it's like, who knows who knows like what the plan is on that, right? So there's just like not a lot of guarantee in it. And
Good luck moving a mobile home that you've just bought too. Like,
right.
It's really
Yeah,
expensive,
that's
and then you can't refinance it after it's been moved more than once.
Right.
I mean, you can, but it's like it's not easy. It costs a whole lot of money to do, and it's just not feasible.
Yeah.
I liked this idea. This is a good idea. Gen X here, we have a special bank account that is just for yearly maintenance of the home. Maintaining a home is expensive. I mean, I think that's great. They clearly had the money to be able to make those monthly maintenance, right? But I think you're right. I think having like a homeowner's warranty policy, having a maintenance schedule makes things a little bit more affordable. Through the time. It's hard because I think we're going into this era where the only money that they have is tied into the house.
Right. But the hard part is like, and that's the thing is like, you get to the, like, you can't take it with you when you go, right? But, so like, I think, as seniors get more and more frugal, right, as they get older, like, you can't take it with you when you go, and also just use the money to maintain your house, because that really is like that is your value, right? And so I understand like being frugal, and yeah, some of them are on fixed income, so I can understand that. But like, if that's the case and they intend to like leave the home to their kids or something like that, it's like getting everybody on board to like, let's either everybody chip in to maintain the house, or everybody chip in some money to get the house maintained on a regular level, like on a regular basis.
Let's talk about that. How often do you see like where kids are like, okay, that's a really good point. Like, if your parents are leaving you the home, or their intent is to leave you the home, and you know that's the intent, like, why aren't you willing to pitch in a little bit?
Oh, my mom. I mean, for instance, my mom, she had early onset Alzheimer's. I mean, she was diagnosed at 59, and really she probably was dealing with it at like 55, I think. And so she had lost her job, and she couldn't afford to pay her life insurance policy anymore. And she had had that life insurance policy since she was 40, I think. And so I just stepped in and I paid $400 a month for her life insurance, so that my sister and I actually had something when she passed away. And it was, I mean, a very worthwhile investment for myself, because at the end of the day, like $400 a month, we split $100,000. And I think I probably had, I don't know, I can't even think. It would be like 10 times 12 times 400. Like, I mean, it wasn't a ton of money that I put into it to maintain that life insurance policy. Same thing should be about the house, right? Like, if that's something that like the family has decided that we're going to pursue, making sure that the house stays within the family and they can still move on to care, which is possible. Like, that's the thing that people don't realize, is that like you can keep the home protected and still move on and utilize Medicaid for care. But I mean, keeping a home within the family is definitely like one of the best things that you could leave behind, rather than, a pile of cash sometimes too.
This segments us right back into the how do you preserve the house for your kids? Like, what are some ways that you can make that happen? The number one easiest way, and this is like, you kind of like need to do this early, is Medicaid asset protection trust you can put on the house. But you cannot have a parent or whoever it's for get sick before this 5 years is up. So the earlier that you can invest in doing that is one way to preserve it.
Yep.
And then what are some other ways? I know you have a couple other ideas.
I had one where the gal she had been making the mortgage payment on her father's house, and she had also been really like caring for him in the house, and like ultimately like kind of, I mean, she was just like, I basically kind of live here, but he's such a mess that I try to avoid him as much as I can. And so she was actually able to go back and prove that like she was making the mortgage payment on the house, or that she was like enough of a participant in the house and like that she was caring for him. And a doctor wrote off and said that like she had been caring for him in the house. And so she was able to get the house set aside from his Medicaid spend down. So he was able to immediately receive benefits. And Medicaid will let you receive benefits. It actually comes down to oftentimes like after you pass away, can they come back and take it back, right? So there's like kind of the two situations of Medicaid, right? You try to qualify for Medicaid and they say, well, you spent money on this, this, and this. We didn't like that, so we're going to make you wait longer kind of thing. And then now you're having to pay for your own care until Medicaid's willing to like kick in. Well, the other part of it is if you were to qualify for Medicaid after you pass, if there's assets that aren't protected, they can come back and like take all of those after death.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that includes it includes a lot of stuff, but if you do it the right way, and honestly, like my best advice is like finding a good elder care attorney. And I interviewed 5 of them probably when I was dealing with my dad, and all of them seemed like that they were just Googling stuff as they were having the conversation with me. And I've found probably 2, I think I'm up to 3 now, 3 that I would very much trust to have like really great conversations about Medicaid protection and setting your parents up. And this goes for married spouses. That's the other thing is like married spouses are actually very protected as far as like qualifying for Medicaid goes. Like so for instance, your dad has Alzheimer's, your mom is still living, and she's been breaking her back trying to care for dad. And it's all a miserable situation. It's probably time for dad to go to memory care. You can utilize Medicaid for him to go to memory care. Mom can still live in the house. Like you don't have to sell the house in order for him to move into Medicaid or move into Medicaid
That's
care.
good.
Yeah. The hard part is like finding the care, right? So that's the other like part of the strategy is that a lot of the places require so many years of private pay. And so that's where it gets expensive. And that like, let's say dad has Alzheimer's and needs to move into, memory care, call it $12,000-$15,000 a month that he has to private pay for 2 years before they'll take Medicaid. Like it's important that as you are sitting down and having the very honest conversation with your parents about their finances, what buckets they're working out of, do they have that, the cash to pay for something like that? Are they able to like take out of, retirement and stuff instead of progressing the way that they are, I guess, I think that a lot of people feel desperate and that like, well, we don't have any other choice other than for mom to care for dad or us to care for dad, right? But like there's plenty of other options out there, and it really is just a matter of like taking a deep, long look of like, all right, what are you working with?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, like even when I'm working with clients all the time, like I think about it in my own personal life. Like I stress about this all the time. I'm self-employed and a business owner, and we don't have a 401k or an IRA. That's a joke.
Yeah.
Like, the one, like as an agent and as somebody who works with real estate, all of my investment is tied up in real estate, which is pretty much what, if you're a boomer, that's also what you were taught, right? Like I was taught that from my parents.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I regurgitate that to my kid too, but like, the planning to think about like what's next and how much money I need to have. Like I got so nervous about it that like I have long-term disability and long-term health care. And it's funny, the attorney that I was talking to, because I'm talking to an elder attorney right now to get my trust in order, because I'm one of those people who have to have a plan like really, really early.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, what kind of long-term plan do you have? And I'm like, I don't know. I pay like $1,000 a month. I don't even know. You guys, I have to, like, you need to know what kind of plan. I just thought, I have one. And
well, and the question is, how much does it pay out a month, too? Exactly. That's the other, like, a lot of people will run into, like, well, now they can't qualify for Medicaid because they have long-term disability insurance, right?
Yeah.
But the long-term disability insurance is only willing to pay out $5,000 a month, and you're having to supplement the rest. So, like, this, and then you can't afford anything.
Like, and I do this, and I literally, this is just, like, I swear every day we find out, like, there's, like, another layer.
Yeah.
Another layer, which is the intent of this, is to hopefully help people understand like all the different layers and like save you from
I think we're still unpacking all that. I mean, we're going to do the heavy lifting of the research. You and I are both very like research heavy ladies. So.
Absolutely. Like, so mine is $10,000 in case anyone wants to know. But to be honest, like that's the cost now.
Yeah.
Of, like, and that's on the low end of memory care. it is on the high end of like if I'm doing well and I'm eating lunch with the ladies every day and
Right.
I'm on my cruise,
Yeah.
you know, of adult homes, but like, you know, and I should say independent living.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping that I'm just an independent living girl for as long as possible. But like, you know, like how far is $10,000 going to go? So I do have to start thinking about like all these other ways that you're going to supplement. And guess
Yeah.
what? Real estate is going to be the first thing that I am trying to offload, which is the one thing I said I wanted to leave to my kids, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, so we'll see how that goes, but that's
Yeah.
part of it.
I think that there's like one very like uncomfortable thing that you and I had talked about that deteriorates a house.
Do tell.
Incontinence.
Yeah.
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 Incontinence can
the
deteriorate a house pretty bad. So if you have a parent that's incontinent and like doesn't want to explain that they're incontinent, and like I just saw that Deion Sanders has his own Depends. Like he has a lot. Like they are
Oh.
Deion Sanders Depends.
I mean, I wonder how much those cost.
I'm sure we can
And
like
how
pull
he
it up
came-
in
and how he
editing.
how he came about his own Depends line is also going to be interesting.
I'm sure that he got paid a very nice amount of money to like sponsor or like
Yeah.
endorse Depends. I doubt that he's probably wearing the Depends, but I like that they're trying to make
he got hit a few times.
they're trying to make they're definitely trying to make adult diapers like the new cool thing. So I
mean, I
they
find
they
the
are
biggest-
finding like a lot younger celebrities to advertise for them.
I mean, like dialysis is a real thing too. Like that, like incontinence happens a lot with dialysis, and like
Yeah.
accidents happen.
But
and
that
you're
can
right.
deteriorate a house really fast because like the
Yeah.
smell of a house can like definitely like change its value significantly.
Oh yeah, and there is an absolute. You do know the difference between
Yes.
human and pet.
Yes.
like-
Well, and even the pet one. I mean, the pet one is the other one that'll rot a house away real quick too. So if you
Yeah.
have like a geriatric dog on top of having senior parents, like, and
Yeah.
it's not getting taken care of, like, it's yes, it's uncomfortable to like have the conversation, but it's like not something to sleep on either.
No. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna look for a good one. Well, this is a funny, just like, yeah, if you bought a 20-year-old home with the original roof, probably inspect it and replace it, because I'm not investing over $300K in a home with holes in a roof when you're ready to sell. I mean, true, fair point, but just so you know, there are plenty of investors that are absolutely happy to drop that amount of money into the house.
300. They must be in a different market than
Yeah,
us.
yeah, totally. You just have to know that, like, you have to price it effectively.
Yeah.
Right? Like, any dumpster fire can be bought.
Yeah.
Like, anything can be bought. It's just, are you going to be able to be okay with what's left over? Right?
Yeah.
And what we minimally need you to have is at least 2 years of spend down, because that's, for me, that's the lowest amount I've seen people are willing to take. They want 2 years of private pay
Yeah.
in order to, you know, before
Yeah.
they will.
So yeah, for
accept
the home
Medicaid.
that they would need to move into, they have to
Yeah.
have 2 years of private pay, and so call that.
Call that your baseline bottom.
Yeah. So I mean, for my daddy has Parkinson's, and his is $7,000 a month, and that's not memory care. That is like higher end care from like, but it's not in a very super. It's in a small town, little tiny facility. So I mean, you get into like
Yeah.
the ones that are further south. There's some very expensive ones for sure.
Mhm.
That private pay for, and then those ones don't ever accept private pay, to be honest.
I want to go down this other road, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna stick to the path. Here's a comment from Just H. I live in a neighborhood of 40 to 6-year-old homes, many still occupied by their aging but original owners. At one point, they're legit selling for $400K for 1,200 square feet. But there have been homes sitting on the market for 5 to 6 months now. No drop in price. Even flipped ones probably need major code updates. Ours still does 17 years later. So they're definitely in a different market, this one. But the funny part about this, like, we're in a like weird. We're kind of in this market, right? Like, it's like I would say it's a balanced market,
Yeah.
right? It's a pretty balanced market. So what does that mean, right? means sellers are holding on to their value and buyers are like holding their feet to the fire because they have choices, right?
Yeah.
So we're like in the middle. So I don't know about you, but this has been the craziest year of like sellers and buyers going back and forth. Like my buyer was like, true story, she's like, why are the sellers being so greedy? And the sellers are like, why isn't the buyer just taking our offer because we gave them closing costs or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like this whole mix. And it's like, for me, I'm like, even on the buyer side, I'm like, okay, guys, you're getting a discount, right, for the cost of the house by the seller offering you, seller paid closing costs and whatnot. But also on their side, hey, seller, maybe like fix your electrical panel and like all of your other things that they're going to have to come out of cash with anyway to fix the problem. So it's like, I'm finding this we're in a stuck. You aren't bending. And
Well, they've just been so conditioned to a market of like, the sellers have been conditioned to this market of like, well, my neighbor sold their house 4 years ago and like it was multiple offers, and it's like it is like changed so fast. And I think so like going back to like your aging parent, right?
Yeah.
Aging doesn't, like, people think that aging happens like nice and slow. And it really,
right. It happens overnight.
It can come in like a freight train. Like, all it takes is a stroke. All it takes is like a broken hip. All it takes is, a fall off of a ladder. All it takes is like, you've ignored some signs of dementia and then suddenly like it is here, right? Like, they can no longer like drive anymore. I mean, that's probably like one of the biggest things that like I think makes the move, the necessity of a move happen, is like when it's like, well, they can't transport themselves to doctor's appointments, they can't get themselves to care anymore. They live out there in the country, or like, they're not like close to a hospital. I think that is like one of the biggest motivators of like having to get your parents into a care facility. And like, it's not like you get like a 6 months notice. Like, you really are dealing with a house as time stood still. I just sold one that it's like she broke her hip in the house and she kind of just never went home. And her kids were left to like fix the house up and clean it up, and they busted their buns on that house for a really long time. And you could tell like the emotion and the grief and everything that kind of came along with it, and the resentment, right? That like they were like stuck having to deal with this. But it's, mom was sitting around with a broken hip. She couldn't deal with it either. So like, that's the other part, is like, you talk about like an updated panel. It's like, you don't have time to update the panel. Like, you have to like, it's coming in fast. And so like, the house is what it is. Like, you're not going to get your parents to like do a bunch of updates prior to selling. You're not going to have that grace period. Generally, when you're having to sell, you are having to sell now.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the point. Like, everybody shits on an investor, but sometimes investors are actually the ones that are ending up helping you get your parents move to the next phase. Like, I make investors pay a non-refundable earnest money deposit so that I have that money so that they can pay for the facility as a hold fee to get in. Because it's like, it's like a month deposit plus the actual month to get in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Plus you have to have a promissory note or a contract to sell on a property to get them to even agree to have your parents.
Yeah.
And when you're faced with a parent in the hospital that can't be released to the home, like you're stuck.
Yeah.
I mean, you're stuck.
I mean, the last one that I bought it had 150 buckets of human waste on it. They had been living there. They did not have kids. The husband and wife had been living there with no running water because their well wouldn't work, which is so sad because they thought the well wouldn't work, and it was actually just the well equipment had failed, and we actually ended up just going in and replacing the well equipment on this property, and it was probably like, I don't know, $4,000 or whatever, and like the well worked. They could have running water that easily, right? But like they didn't. I don't know why. They had a hoarding problem really bad. He had every dang hobby you've ever seen. They had 2,000 square foot shops, so they had plenty of room to hoard all of their stuff. But like, it was a disaster. It was a total disaster. And she needed to be in a home probably years before she was ever in a home, kind of thing. And so she was really living very disabled in a very uncomfortable situation. Obviously, I don't really know how the pooping in the bucket worked, but
well, no running water, so
there was a ladle. Not to be too graphic, but there was a ladle. So I think that that's how it was working. But yeah, so that's the other thing is like how many seniors do you run into whose kids live out of state or
Oh,
don't know they're living, like these seniors are out here living wild right now, like, and their kids probably don't
lot.
know it, right? Like that they've like fully just like let life go. And yeah.
there's a lot. I think there's embarrassment that
Yeah.
comes
Oh,
along with
yeah.
that.
So
like,
much shame. Yeah.
so much, which you shouldn't. I mean, like, there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
And like, this whole conversation for us to like have, and be truthful about is not to shame anyone
No.
or to make them feel bad. It's legitimately like real issues that we deal with every day that, we try to help people identify like what the easiest and best method is to move forward and take that next step while you still have choices. And I think that's the end we're going to end on today is really like, hey, we're here to help you get through those next choices. If you like our conversations, please feel free to subscribe, like it, please. That's how we're going to continue to push out more content. We want to thank Neo Home Loans for hosting this lovely space for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.